How can you weld these two metal pipes together without using a real welding machine? In today's video, I'm going to try solving that problem using much simpler tools. First, I try using a regular soldering iron to join these two metal pipes together. However, as you can see, the solder is unable to properly bond the two pipes. The solder joint is very weak and does not generate enough heat to fuse the metal surfaces together like a real welding machine would. But I came up with an interesting idea to solve this problem. Instead of using the soldering iron in its normal form, I'm going to try transforming it into a mini heat welding tool capable of producing much higher temperatures for working with metal parts like these. First, I disassemble the parts of the soldering iron to begin the modification process. Instead of using the original heating circuit, I'm going to apply a direct electrical transfer method to the heating tube in order to generate stronger heat. I strip away the insulation from the electrical wire to expose the copper core inside. Then, I twist the copper strands tightly together. In the next step, I connect the electrical wire directly to the heating core of the soldering iron. Then, I use pliers to clamp and tighten the heating core together with the wire, so the connection becomes more secure and provides more stable electrical conductivity during operation. Next, I use heat shrink tubing to protect the electrical wire connection. This tubing provides better insulation and helps prevent the connection from becoming loose or causing short circuits during use. I pass the electrical wire through the heating tube to reconnect it with the heating core inside. Then, I tighten the fixing screw to securely hold the core and wire assembly in place inside the heating section. After that, I reassemble the soldering iron back into its original structure after completing the internal modifications. Once finished, the handle and heating section are secured firmly back into place. Next, I use an alligator clip as the electrical connection terminal for the welding tool. I attach the soldering iron wire to the rear section of the alligator clip. Then, I use pliers to tighten the metal connection so it becomes more secure and provides more stable electrical connectivity. In the next step, I attach the welding rod onto the heating tube of the soldering iron to prepare it for operation. This welding rod will act as the direct contact point with the material being welded and transfer heat to the metal joining area. Next, I begin designing the ground wire for the welding system. At each end of the wire, I attach an alligator clip to create a complete connection system for the metal welding process. To provide power for the welding system, I'm going to use 2 batteries. The electrical power from these batteries will help generate enough current to heat the welding rod during operation. First, I use a multimeter to measure the voltage of each battery before connecting them together. As you can see, each battery currently provides around 13 volts, which shows that both batteries are still in good condition and capable of powering this DIY welding system. Next, I use a piece of electrical wire to connect the 2 batteries together. First, I strip the insulation from both ends of the wire to expose the copper core inside. Then, I separate the copper strands into 2 smaller branches to make the connection to the battery terminals easier. Next, I connect the positive terminal of the blue battery to the negative terminal of the red battery to increase the voltage of the welding system. After completing the connection, I use a multimeter to check the total voltage again. And as you can see, the meter now displays around 26.2 volts, which is much higher than the voltage of each individual battery. Next, I connect the ground wire of the welding system to the negative terminal of the blue battery. The positive terminal of the red battery is then connected directly to the homemade welding tool. After completing all the wiring connections, the mini welding system is finally ready for testing. I try welding the 2 metal pipes together. I place the welding rod onto the joint area between the pipes and slowly move the tip along the seam. As the electrical current flows through the rod, it begins glowing red hot and generates enough heat to melt the metal at the contact point. After finishing the weld, I use a hammer to knock away the welding slag and excess metal residue from the surface. Then, I use a steel brush to clean the welded area and reveal the final metal surface underneath. After cleaning, the weld looks much stronger and more solid than before. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next DIY videos.